Hello fam, it's Kayla, and today we're going to be covering episodes 7 through 10 of Oxygen. I got a little behind, so apologies for that. But nevertheless, let's discuss some things that stuck out to me and you guys. So first things first, the acting. I keep seeing you guys comment that Nut is a very stiff actor, and I kind of agreed until I also saw people commenting that he's actually doing Solo's character justice. This is something I'm super torn about because from what I've gathered, Solo's character is quite introverted in the novel, bordering on tsundere if not completely. However, at the same time, I wonder if the director had trouble bringing this character to life and translating it well on screen. After all, the director is the one who instructs the actors. Again, I don't have a clear opinion either way, but as someone who really enjoys analyzing every aspect of a drama, this is the type of conversation that I love having. While we're discussing technical aspects of this series, I have to say, this may not be the best BL, but the sound engineering, lighting, and camera quality are top-notch. Going along these lines, another thing some of you guys have voiced is the music not always matching the emotions that are being portrayed in the scene. This is something I would usually notice right away because I'm so invested in the tone that music sets for a scene, but I had to go back and really listen after this was pointed out. And the conclusion I've come to is that nearly every instrumental used is a sequence of piano keys. If you want a good example of this, watch part 1 of episode 9 from the timestamps 4:10 to 12:35. With the exception of a brief character introduction, this whole series uses variations of piano music. Do what you will with that information, I don't feel either way about it. Anyway, moving on to episode 7, my main takeaway was that Fu and Kao are carrying this series. Don't get me wrong, I love Solo and Guitar's relationship. Up until now, they've been idyllic. But as actors, Fu, yes, his real name is Fu, and Boss have such stellar chemistry. I found myself anticipating their scenes the most, from the after hours of Kao's birthday party at the pool to their simple but endearing video game competitions at Fu's apartment. These two really won me over. As I continued on, I started to get strange vibes from Kim's brother Kem. And what I mean by that is the one-sided tension between him and Dr. Petch. At first, I thought that maybe I was just looking too into it, but then bam! As if the storyline with Dr. Perth wasn't enough, Kem also has a crush on Dr. Petch. Now, I thought this was extremely random to the point where I went back and watched earlier scenes to see if I missed anything. However, I personally didn't spot any clues that Kem felt any type of way towards Dr. Petch. Unrequited love is a trope that I'm an absolute sucker for, and yet I'm not entirely sold on it here. What are your thoughts on this? Were you as shell-shocked as I was? Another thing that nearly sent me to the grave was Jay confessing that he left with Solo's dad because he was in love with him. All these revelations are killing me, you guys. So the next character I want to talk about is Big Mama, the woman who essentially raised Guitar while he was in the orphanage. As soon as Guitar's childhood friend told him that she was in the hospital, I knew she wasn't going to make it. In a way, I think the boys all knew that as well, although Guitar was the one who had a really hard time accepting it. This whole narrative was sad for obvious reasons, but what really got to me is the conversation that Solo has with Big Mama before she passes away. During this conversation, Solo finally seems to address the fact that him and Guitar jumped into a relationship head on. His exact words were, "I haven't known him long, but he made me want to spend the rest of my life with him. If that isn't soulmate behavior, then what is?" I just kept thinking about how at peace Big Mama must have felt knowing that Guitar was thriving in his adult life and had someone to look after him. So I'm going to mesh episodes 9 and 10 together since they both take place at the farm that Big Mama used to teach at. Initially, I wasn't sure what to expect going into this new setting because a lot of the time, new settings equal filler episodes. But I'm happy to report that these 2 episodes were very needed for plot progression and character development. Solo and Guitar went to the farm with a purpose, to fulfill Big Mama's wish for them to visit. And while there, we meet this little boy named Moon. You guys, when I saw him walk into frame wearing his Moon shirt, I looked down at my Moon shirt and I said to myself, oh my god, this character owns my heart. I'm not gonna get too into everything that happened at the farm, but I will mention that I love this scene. For the first time while watching this series, I cried because I also tell people who have passed on all about what I did that day, and so it struck a chord with me when Moon was yelling up at the sky about how he brushed his teeth. So innocent, but so heartbreaking. Now let's circle back to Fu Cao. So these 2 share a bonding moment while they're camping out in the woods by the farm. For background, Fu receives a call from his brother Pham at the same time every day, and Cao is aware of this routine, but what he didn't know was that Pham is still a kid, and he is reliant on his brother to the point where he self-harmed one day when Fu was too busy to answer his phone. In addition, he's totally mute due to the devastating trauma of witnessing their mom being stabbed to death by a burglar, and by being attacked while he lived with Fu. It's sad to think that all the rumors about Fu beating someone to death stem from him just trying to protect his brother. It really shows how just one false claim has the power to alter everyone's perspective of you. To end this video off, I won't be talking about Solo's fiancée Linda quite yet, but I just want to point out something that bothers me and that I'm considering making a separate video about. What I'm referring to is the casual fat phobia that's constantly present in BL dramas, and dramas in general, but I'm gay and thus consume gay shit. I know that mentioning someone's weight holds different connotations in different cultures, but at the end of the day, every body is a good body, and there's no need for the word fat to be viewed or utilized in a negative way. Body shaming so often leads to eating disorders, not just in women, but men and gender nonconforming people as well. And we have to eliminate this stigma that your worth is determined by what you weigh, and these beauty standards that are, in many respects, unattainable. Even when it's coming from a place of concern and wanting the best for someone's health, it needs to be addressed with maturity instead of this mocking tone of, who would want you since you're fat? It's not right. But let me stop myself there. Thank you to the moon and back for watching. I know these aren't the most demanded videos, but I have fun making them, so props to you if you've been watching every installment. Please keep yourself safe and make sure to check on your friends. And we'll pick up again once Oxygen is over. Wow, already? Anyway, talk to you guys next time. Bye!